Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at, ladies and gents. I am Kura Isagami, your resident tinker and meta rodder, and thanks for tuning in with me once again here for another Orimeda art stream collaboration at that, where I will be featuring a special guest as we design a brand new, never before seen design akin to the meta rod design and aesthetic. Now, I do have to apologize just a little bit beforehand, as we are at a little bit of a late start. Had some minor technical difficulties, nothing really huge, but I am still very excited all the same for everyone that is planning to hang out with us here tonight, as me and my special guest work on this over the course of the next couple hours or so. That being said, though, let me change this real quick. There we go. That being said, on the topic of our special guest of the evening, though, before we do officially kick off and get started here, I do want to take some time to introduce them formally and bring them to the workshop floor. I have had them in my stream a handful of times in the past and always had good conversation when they stopped in, but it is always a pleasure to finally have them here on the workshop floor with me. So, resident retired Sentai hero Falco, it is an absolute honor to have you with me here on the MNN tonight. How are you doing, my friend?
Yep, greetings. Yeah, I'm doing all right.
That's good to hear. Could you take a minute, kind of talk, for anyone that is deciding to hop on in here as we're getting started, just try to take a minute to shine the spotlight on yourself, who you are, what you do, favorite games, favorite things you like to do on stream, just a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, all right then. Allow me to reintroduce myself. The name's Falco, also known as the Red Wing Hero. I'm a retired Sentai hero who is now trying to be a virtual YouTuber or virtual streamer instead. Lately, what I do best on stream have been only karaoke stream and unboxing stream with the toys. So as far as for the gaming side of it, I haven't played any games for the past few months.
Okay. So mostly a lot of karaoke and unboxing, like you said. I've been seeing a lot of
Yeah.
those becoming fairly popular more and more these days. Karaoke streams, yeah, but a lot of unboxing in general, Pokemon card unboxings and Gunpla building and things like that. I've been seeing a rise in popularity in those. Have you noticed anything, compared to like game streams or not really?
I don't know with anybody else, but for some reason, those two are my popular streams right now. When I played
Gotcha.
80 games, I barely got any views at all.
Gotcha. Okay. Um, so with the unboxing in particular, can you kind of what specifically do you kind of focus on, or is it just a little bit of everything?
Yeah, the idea is I have too many collections right now that I really want to make them into I want to put them into my content,
Okay.
so to speak, right? But so far, what I do lately is unboxing the belts because Kamen Rider is surging popularity these days, and
I have seen
uh,
that. Yes.
yeah, and lately, finally, Kamen Rider is expanding the brand outside of Japan. So I'm really happy
I have
because
heard
I've been a fan of Kamen Rider all my life.
I've heard about that actually. About it going global with this new with this new season, this new hero that's coming out here pretty soon. Coming from somebody who has never been into the Kamen Rider Super Sentai series officially. My only exploration of it as a kid was just the localized Americanized Power Rangers. So probably extremely different from the OG sources where they got them. But can you tell me just a little bit, just as a newbie, like the overall feel of like a Common Rider series, like how's it compare to what an American would know as the basic Power Rangers that we grew up with as kids?
Okay, the original Kamen Rider, in summary, just a karate buckman riding motorcycle.
Okay, I kind of
Yeah,
figured that much based on what little I knew, but I wasn't sure if there was like anything specific that that would set Common Rider apart from say like Super Sentai.
yeah. Now with the modern Kamen Rider, starting from Kuga, they started to experiment with a little bit with the storyline. So some people argue that Kamen Rider is a little bit darker than Super Sentai or Power Rangers,
Oh, really?
but
Okay.
that's not necessarily the case.
Okay. Can you elaborate on that just a little bit? Like, kind of like a darker, grittier storyline, or more like character development kind of story?
Well, because Kamen Rider has been so far, right, with the modern take of Kamen Rider since Kuga, since the year 2000, it's been 20 plus years with the modern style of Kamen Rider.
Okay, okay,
Some of them had hit or miss. When I said miss, the character development was not really good.
gotcha. Okay,
I can give you some example with the title of Kamen Rider Revice or Kamen Rider Gotcha. The main character is not very good,
gotcha.
but
Okay,
compared to Kamen Rider Build, I can recommend Kamen Rider Build if you're going to start with your Kamen Rider. Kamen Rider Build has some of the good stories about war between three states,
okay, okay.
and then in some in some episodes they dealt with PTSD after unaliving someone.
Gotcha. Okay. So
Yeah.
a little bit of everything as far as the term like heavier story, darker story is concerned. And honestly, I think that definitely was a good call though, because you know a lot of people are who have been craving good entertainment these days. You know, good shows, good storylines, and such. That's the kind of thing that really hits home with a lot of people. It isn't necessarily the fact that you know like the superhero always wins in the end, but a lot of people question like you know what happens when he doesn't, or what happens you know in between the times that he's fighting crime. You know what are his struggles, so to speak. So I really appreciate when stories do that and kind of take time to delve into characters, so to speak. I really appreciate that. But I'm a little bit of a lore nerd, so I might be a little biased, but no, that's honestly really neat. I've strongly considered researching more properly into the Kamen Rider series in general or as a whole, especially plus the ones that you suggested to us suggested to me earlier before Showtime was we were arranging this. In particular, one of the big reasons as well I've been seeing the name floating around recently is because as far as Metarod is concerned, we've actually had one of the Heisei era Kamen Rider designers actually weigh in with a couple of designs that he has created to submit and contribute to the series as a whole. So that's been getting a lot of really big popularity these days too.
Okay.
Let me see if I can actually grab that name real quick. Hold on. It's I know I was talking to somebody with it just the other day. It was and this name might actually be extremely you know familiar to you as someone who's very involved with the series. Where is it? Here we go. It's let me see, and I'm probably gonna botch this, but I'm gonna try. It's Kyoryu Kuramochi.
Okay.
So one of the Heisei era designers really got involved, and that was really really exciting for a lot of people once they started getting some really big names in there. But no, it's honestly like I said a pleasure to have you with us here tonight, Falco. I'm so excited to have you on the workshop floor. But with all that being said, and having some time to introduce who you are, what you like, and especially with your passion for all things Super Sentai or Kamen Rider, I am very excited to see what your kind of knowledge and creativity will bring to us with our Ori meta of the night. So let me go ahead and fire up my music playlist just so it's not so quiet. And then for anyone that does decide to tune in or hang out with us, usual rules will apply. Just let us know if it's too quiet or too soft or can't hear anybody. And I will work on that as needed. That being said, okay, so let me go ahead and go back to our DMs real quick so I can grab what our prompt was. So just to kind of review for people that are not aware of how I do my collaborative art streams. When I do these original Ori metas, I have my guest, I assign my guest a little bit of homework before showtime. Basically, I have them consult the random Metarock kit generator that I designed a couple years ago, a little over a year and a half ago. Basically, what it does is that it spits out 3 skills, a leg type and ability, and a heavy limit, and then also allows the user to select a particular theme or theme prompt that they want the design to be based off. The premise behind this generator was essentially along the lines of people that want to create brand new Metarots from scratch, but don't know where to begin. They don't know what kind of design they want to do, where they want to take the design as far as aesthetic or motif. Well, this generator that I put together and maintain is basically the answer to everyone's prayers, or at least I like to think it is. So naturally, much like with previous guests I've had here in the past, I did assign Falco here the same assignment of taking a look at the generator and finding the 1 or 2 prompts that he liked the best to bring forth to stream. Now, compared to most other guests, Falco only brought one with us tonight, so that makes the discussion a little bit easier. That we can pretty much get, jump straight, right into it with what we're going to be bringing to the table tonight, and of course, what we're going to be doing. But before I do forget, how could I possibly forget this? I should probably stream Clip Studio for you so you can hop in and actually, follow along. That'd be most important, of course. So let me go ahead and take care of that. And then let me go in here, and let's see what we're coming up with. I'm still trying to get used to everything after upgrading my PC, so things are a little shaky on my end with putting stuff together. Here we go. Hold on. There we go, so let me recenter this real quick. There we go. Okay, so, where is that? Okay, so we only have one prompt, so... Theme prompt. Okay, so the design you're bringing with us here tonight is a sci-fi themed. That gives us a lot of stuff. That gives us a lot of possibilities we can work with. So sci-fi motif with a kit of Charge Buster, Missile C, Minus Guard, with multi-legs, and the leg ability of Radiator. And a heavy limit of 3, so this is going to be a fairly bulky boy. Okay, so, before I explain in particular how this kit or design works, what kind of made this one stand out to you, Falco?
Oh, sorry, what was it?
Before I kind of explain how this kit works and my overall thoughts on it, when you were working with the generator, looking at it, what were your thoughts when you looked at this and thought, oh, I think this is the one?
Oh man, because I haven't caught on the Meta Roto yet. It's hard to imagine.
There's no wrong answer here. I'm just curious what made this one stand out to you. That's all.
Yeah, because when I design my equipment, I tend to look at some, of course, the science fiction franchises, such as of course, the MCUs, maybe Star Wars, or maybe just a typical general tokusatsu shows that I've watched so far.
Yeah, and like I said, sci-fi is a very robust theme, so we can do that. We can do just about anything with that.
Okay, let's say with this sci-fi motif, I'm looking at, maybe because we are talking about Kamen Rider build earlier, maybe we can start with, Kamen Rider build. Maybe I can look up Kamen Rider build to see how the gadget look like.
Yeah, and while you're doing that, just to explain this kit specifically, so you kind of know how it works, and I can explain it for the audience as well. So this kit is designed to be a very heavy, bulky type. Charge Buster is a shooting-based skill that gets a damage plus relative to the amount of charge in the user's gauge. It will consume an amount of charge in order to do so. No charge means no damage bonus, but that's not a big deal. The more charge you have, the stronger it is. Missile C is essentially just an offshoot of the basic gunpowder skill. Not really anything to mark as far as what makes this one different, but it is a full AoE type of attack, which means instead of having pierce damage like Charge Buster, or even just a basic attack, this one damages all the parts of the enemy at once. So this makes it really, really easy to kind of pepper the foe and make it a lot easier for a stronger attack to come behind it and finish the job and break a lot of stuff at once. Or in the case of the more recent games, including Silent Leader as a battle mechanic, this makes it a whole lot easier to flush out enemy leaders that are hiding in plain sight in case you want to figure out who to take out faster. Minus Guard is a defense skill that has a very unique damage nullification condition to it. And what it does is that it allows this design to plant itself on the command line and intercept all incoming attacks for its allies. The catch with minus guard, however, is that if anyone on the enemy side is trying to use a negative ailment type of attack, so things that may, say, freeze or stall an enemy in place, might turn skip them, inflict the damage over time, any kind of negative ailment type of effect, minus guard not only will nullify the incoming attack, but also reverse the ailment back on the sender. So if they're trying to bypass a guard by freezing it in place, or try to stun them to get the guard out of the way, this model in particular will say no sir and throw the Uno reverse card at them, so now they're stuck with the ailment. Multi-legs means that this one obviously will have more than 2 legs. It can be anything from 3 to 10 to however many legs it wants, but it also is open to interpretation. So if there's maybe like, I don't know, some examples of support type legs or like auxiliary type legs alongside a pair of 2 standard bipedal, that can work as well. But basically multi-legs means it's going to be very good on rocky or uneven terrains where biped or even a handful of other leg types might be struggling, at the cost of just a little bit of speed but also keeping the bulk. Now as far as speed is concerned though, Radiator does actually fix that. Upon spending a turn to charge Metaforce, Radiator applies a stack of Cooler to self, which means that you go a little bit faster when cooling down after taking your turn. So that means you can kind of go just a little bit faster and recharge quicker to go fire off another turn. So ultimately, this is going to be a pretty heavy, long-range type of fighter, focusing really heavy on bulk as well, especially with a heavy limit of 3. But the ability of minus guard with multi-legs does give it a fairly bulky advantage to take advantage of that when taking incoming hits for allies. And like I said, the sci-fi motive does mean we can do just about anything with it as far as like how we want to put the design together or what kind of theming or motif we want to approach with it. So the sky's the limit basically with what we could do here. Let's see, we're doing that. So after hearing that brief explanation, Falco, what are your thoughts on this design overall?
Well, I'm looking at it right now. I'm maybe kind of lenient on the Kamen Rider build aesthetic because one of the motifs that Kamen Rider build used was heavy vehicles such as tanks.
Gotcha. So that definitely would go part and parcel here. I can definitely see it. So let me see. Well, this is some nice.
So I think with the we can actually combine sturdiness and mobility. Maybe we can combine these two: the Kamen Rider build tank and Kamen Rider build Hawk Gatling. Yeah, forgive me with the Hawk theme because I'm pretty biased with the Hawk animals.
Oh, nothing wrong. Well, nothing wrong with that either. I mean, if it's your particular aesthetic, you gotta own it, man. Let's see, but honestly, I can definitely see that here. Looking at the 2 designs you sent, and you said these were Common Tank and Common Hawk, right?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same rider actually.
Gotcha. Just
Yes,
alternate outfits.
Yeah, alternate forms. Yeah, Kamen Rider built.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I see. Those are some pretty unique designs, honestly. Look at the chat here. I see Atma and Everdream. I see you two in here. Welcome. Glad to have you guys with us tonight as well. We're just kind of hanging out the moment while we're in the initial planning stages here of what we could do. So let me see. Being able to use bulk is also fairly interpretive, so we can kind of still go for a fairly bipedal appearance if we wanted to, because it doesn't mean it has to be like this great big heavy walking wall if it has to focus on bulk. So we have a lot of different possibilities we can do with that. So let me go ahead.
Is it possible if we can make it into 4 legs but with tank threads?
Yeah, we could do that. We could do that very easily.
I'm sending you one of the alternate ability of this Kamen Rider build tank.
Yeah.
His legs turn into the tank.
Gotcha. Okay.
Literal tank.
Gotcha. I kind of could tell with that based on the armor design. I can see that. That's actually kind of cool looking. How can we set that up as a multi-pedal though? That'll be the trick.
Yeah, don't forget. Basically, Kamen Rider is almost the same as Super Sentai or Power Rangers. It's a 30-minute toy advertisement.
Yeah, basically. But no, it does
Basically.
it does a very good job of advertising those toys, though. Let's be real. Let me see. Honestly, you know, as far as like the Power Rangers Super Sentai series was concerned, honestly, the biggest thing that appealed to me was just the giant robot fights. Like, I really could, as a kid, I really could have cared less with all the story development and all the martial arts fighting. I was like, just give me the giant transforming robots. Like, the last 5 minutes of every episode, that's kind of what I stuck around for.
Kamen Rider almost fell into that trope because some of the believe it or not, some of the Kamen Rider shows has robots.
Okay, I've seen a little bit of
Just
those
only-
based on clips. Didn't focus too heavily on it though, based on what I understand.
But because of the CG's not looking good, possibly maybe they dropped it.
Yeah, that might be part of it too, especially like in early thousand CG. You can only do so much with it without it looking like super obviously cheesy. Thanks to the abilities of modern CGI, that kind of fixes that a little bit.
Yeah, but the thing is, CG shots in Kamen Rider is not very nice to look at.
That's fair. That's very fair. I've seen the effects as well from other folks that share Kamen Rider stuff, and I mean this endearingly. It definitely looks much more heavily on the cheesy side. It's definitely leaning that direction. Let me see. What could we do with this?
Yeah, for some reason they haven't increased their own CG quality, so I believe Super Sentai still wins this run when it comes to giant robots because they're combining. They're still combining the CGI, but with practical shots, practical suits.
Okay, so let me try. So let me get my basic shape down here real quick, and then. Starting to rearrange all my stuff here. Thank you. This just kind of gives me a basic frame I can work with when I'm putting stuff together.
Well, speaking of it, last week, I met a Kamen Rider actor.
I did see that on your I did see that in your feed fairly recently. That must have been a huge honor.
Definitely.
What was an event that you were planning to go to for a while, or was it just something that kind of happened as a happenstance?
Yeah, I was looking forward to it because they announced it way back a few months ago. Yeah, to prepare ourselves.
Gotcha.
So that's very good. Yeah, they are very good event organizers, and I know some of the guys also.
Well, that always helps too, that you have someone on the inside. That helps a lot.
Yeah, I got a VIP pass for attending a dinner, a gala dinner with all the guests.
Nice.
So I was very lucky.
Okay, let me check something real quick. Let me check something real quick. 'Cause like I said, I'm still trying to reconfigure a lot of my settings. Symmetrical ruler. I think my setting on here got changed. Subtool correction. Okay, so let me see here.
If you happen to be very interested in Kamen Rider, maybe if you want to watch the ongoing series, you can hop into Tokushoutsu channel or Shout Factory channel. They're always doing simulcasting episodes.
Okay.
Weekly.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
Kamen Rider Z. So the name is Kamen Rider Z. The theme is really unique this time because they're dwelling into dreams.
Oh, that's gotta be a fun. That's gotta be a fun concept.
Dreams and lucid dreams type of thing. Yeah, it was pretty creative with how they wrote the story so far. So far, we have only 5 episodes, and it was engaging. I really enjoyed it. I definitely want to watch it weekly.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's gonna be really. Finding things that you want to like stick with and commit to as far as like things to watch or things to stay on. it's always been a very big hit and miss. Like, you either find something that you are absolutely hooked on, and there's like nothing that could yank you away from the screen, and then you have these 6 month to 1 year long stints where there's like nothing to watch. I was just telling another friend of mine tonight. I said, listen, I would love to start doing anime nights and such in our own groups, but because my watch list is like a mile long, because I see all these things that are shared or teased, and I'm like, oh, that looks kind of cool. I might want to go watch that, and I bookmark it, and I never look at it again. Okay, so I have an idea on what we could do for the legs, so we can so we can be mindful of it being a multi-pedal type. But let's work our way down from the top while I'm kind of putting a rough sketch together. So naturally, we do kind of like the idea of going with like a Kamen Rider type of theme for the overall aesthetic, but obviously we can't just like copy a theme one for one. So again, as a newbie who has never actively like been in the series before or anything of the like, what are some like particularly notable, like most noteworthy elements that that makes something stand out as a Kamen Rider?
Definitely the eyes, the compound eyes.
Okay.
The bug eyes.
I kind of figured it was something along those lines, but again, this is going to be very enlightening for me tonight too, because again, I've never actually looked into the series formally, just kind of like an outsider looking in with like what the series is about or all the different types, and seen people share stuff every now and then. So it's going to be a learning experience for me.
As a matter of fact, I'm seeing Metabeast's head, right?
Uh-huh.
Kind of has similar autonomically or structurally very similar with Kamen Rider, with the antenna, the eyes.
Okay, so kind of like a visor type of design.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Actually, speaking of, there's a design I think you might get a kick out of, and it's been popularly joked about in the Metarock community, saying we have him now in Metarock S, so it's kind of natural that we kind of have to go that route with getting one eventually, a Kamen Rider collab. If you have a chance to look it up, Google Metarot and then name it Sweet, like sweet as in like something that tastes sweet. You should find a grasshopper type that debuted in Metarot Navi. I think you might get a kick out of.
Metarot Sweet?
Sweet.
Oh, okay.
He's a grasshopper
Yeah.
type that was introduced in Navi back in 2001. But he's commonly and endearingly, of course, joked around saying is the unofficial Kamen Rider until we actually get a Kamen Rider.
It definitely looks like a Kamen Rider with even with the scarf.
Yeah, and it's neat too because he finally got his 3D model for the very first time in a while, and actually ever. And his model looks really, really cool. Like it's really nice to see it. His attacks are kind of iffy, like they're not anything like major to write home about, but no, I figure you might get a kick out of him. Let me see here.
Yeah, I like it.
So what I could probably
Even
do...
with the green coloring, really takes back to the original Kamen Rider from 1971.
I think
Kamen Rider Ichigo.
I think that was probably the big hope with it too, especially with the grasshopper theming, and it became kind of obvious at that point that's kind of like what they were going after. But honestly,
if you're thinking grasshopper, you definitely think of Kamen Rider.
Yeah, and every time in our weekly, I call them fun discussions, where I call it our favorite game. I call it What's Tomorrow's News, and basically every Monday, because every Tuesday we actually get news from the official Metarot channel on what to expect in Metarot S or anything new. So I say, what's our favorite game? Take a wild shot in the dark of what we could possibly see, and we have things coming in from like like a new collaboration, a new game, something possible new merchandise, new model that people hope to see, and just a little bit of everything basically. It's a fun little thing that I do to kind of keep the community engaged, and every now and then, it's not like super common, but like every now and then someone makes a joke saying that we're missing Kamen Rider as a collaboration. Like we can't actually like finish, the game can't close, it can't shut down until we get a Kamen Rider collab. And every now and then I'll get a comment, I see that comment, and I'll say, well, question, have you ever seen Sweet before? And they're like, yeah, but he doesn't count. I'm like, yeah, well, he's as close as we're gonna get until we do. Okay, let me see. So what I'm thinking of, because I have an idea of what I want to do for the tank treads, and I'm going to show you my thoughts when I get down that far. What are your thoughts on the idea of doing like a kind of like a tank barrel kind of beetle horn for the head? What do you think about that? Or should we kind of do something a little less stylistic?
Maybe we can use the tank barrel as the antenna, but on the side of the ears, I think.
Okay, so maybe like on the side of the head.
Yes.
Well, what my idea, and I actually got inspired from this based on how they did the recent Dendo collaboration. My idea was that I was actually going to take, based on what you showed me of Kamen Rider Tank, is I was going to make the chest the cannon. Kind of like like a cannon that was like fastened, fixed to the torso. So that was my idea.
Of course.
So I was thinking for the horn we could have a little more freedom with that. So I'm thinking maybe. What could we do? There are a couple possibilities. Well, what we could do. Actually, this could be a really good idea too. Is what if what is it? I think it's a giant rhino beetle that has the three horns. Or is it a giant Hercules? I think it's one of the two. But what if we did something like that? Like we make the horn on the chest like the third great horn, and then do one on each side of the head as like a symbolic beetle.
Oh, I think I can come up with that. Hang on. Kamen Rider Caucasus.
Alright, while you're working on that, let me.
Yeah, one of the Kamen Rider years ago based on a Caucasus beetle.
So I'm thinking like.
Caucasus. Okay.
Oops, wrong one. I need to put that down. There we go. Something maybe something. Oops.
Okay, I'm dropping the image.
Kind of along those lines. But yeah, that kind of beetle essentially. But it's two horns on the top of the head. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Hold on. It's I think it's Hercules that does that.
Hercus.
Or it's a rhino.
There was also a Hercus. Yeah, there was also a Hercules beetle.
It's
type rider also.
Yeah, three-horned rhino beetle. Let's see if I can find a picture real quick. Hang on. Something. No, that's not quite a good one. Let me see if I can find a good picture. Here we go. Something like this.
Yeah.
Something kind of like that is what I'm thinking. We can really like lean into the beetle motif.
I think that's exactly the Caucasus beetle look like.
Let's see here. Just looking at some other ideas on how the style is.
Yeah, and
portrayed.
that's literally literally the rider that it's based on.
Gotcha. Okay, so I just misunderstood it then.
Yeah. Yeah. Even shared the name. The name of the Kamen Rider is literally called Caucasus. Kamen Rider Caucasus.
Gotcha. Oh. Like I said, this is coming from somebody who's never had a chance to fully immerse in the series yet, so I might still be just a little bit new. So what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Quite like that idea. What I'm thinking we could probably do. Look at kind of a brace. Hold on. I've got a vision. Let me confirm it. I've got a vision. So maybe something kind of like.
Maybe make it blocky, not pointy, so it's not really obvious a beetle.
So that's what I'm thinking. So like maybe. kind of like that, essentially. So it looked kind of like this from the front, but then on the side... Let me actually doodle this on the side real quick, just so I can kind of show you my vision. So what I'm thinking is... If this is the side of the head... A little bit bigger. Right about there. So if this is the profile... I'm thinking of the horn could probably be something like... Something kind of like that. So it's kind of like leans out, kind of like leans backward, but then upward, kind of like an upward, kind of like an upwards length horn. And then for the torso, I'm just gonna mock something.
That's a cool idea.
Is kind of taking into account the idea that you had. Actually, hold on, I have a better idea. Kind of really playing beetle motive here is. That'll be the barrel, and then it'll be basically fixed to the torso through like a couple of shoulder grips. So it'll look kind of like that, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
That's kind of like the idea that I'm dancing with. It's hard to visualize from the front, essentially, but that's kind of what I was thinking of. Atma says next time Galapagos. Yes, I know you've been waiting on Galapagos to join Meta S for a very long time, and it's gonna happen. I feel it's gonna happen eventually, where he will actually get dropped in Meta S, and I imagine that's going to be a joyous day for you. So let me try these again real quick. Do this another way.
So is it okay with you if you're going to finish this one? I want to use it. I'd like to redraw this with my own style. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this isn't just my design. This is our design. Like it's you and me both collaborating on this one. So when I'm done and we both say that we're happy with it, that's not quite what I want. I'm signing both of our names on this, like, because we both put this one together. Let me start from the inside of the home. Here we go. Like that. That's wrong. That's a little better. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. We're cooking. We're cooking. What I could do to kind of tie this in just a little bit so the head doesn't look as plain is... I have a couple ideas to make. So what if we do... We do a little bit of like a mini horn on the helmet. I can do it correctly. Thank you. A question for most common writers like this: do they usually include antenna, or is it just kind of like on a case by case basis?
Well, it depends on the theme, but they always put some kind of antenna on the helmet.
So what if we do?
In one instance, they put a mohawk into camera the helmet, and that's not the best design that I really like.
Mohawks are kind of weird. Like, you either do them really well or just don't bother, because it's a really weird style, honestly.
Exactly, but for some reason, people still highly regard this season, which is Kamen Rider X8, which I hate so much.
Is it kind of a popular opinion that it's not really well liked, or is it just kind of like a meme where they're like, they hate it but they love it kind of thing?
Some cases like that, but we're still torn between those particular season because the theme is based on game, but their main occupations are doctors. So doctors and games somehow don't mix very well.
Gotcha, I see. So going back to this real quick, just so we can kind of visualize this. So look.
And the design is atrocious.
Let me sort of keep an eye on it.
It's not that. Yeah, it's not the type that. Not the type of the design that you kind of grow on you when you're watching to the fullest. That's not the case for me.
Gotcha. So it's either you love it or you hate it kind of thing, and you definitely don't like it.
Yeah.
Something in
Because there were some cases. Yeah, so there were some cases when, with the promo images, with the teaser images, we were like, "What the heck is this Kamen Rider? This is not Kamen Rider at all." But it will grow on you once you watch the show. In this case, I watched Kamen Rider Gaim. Yeah, in this case, I watched Kamen Rider Gaim once, based on samurai or maybe swordsmen, knights and such, but with fruits, orange, banana, and grape, melon. Yet somehow it worked. Kind of grow on me, but not with the Kamen Rider X8 with the doctor and gaming, but with the mohawk instead of antenna and anime eyes. Oh my good lord, I cannot start to fathom the.
Gotcha.
The less I want to remember, the better.
I gotcha. I think I definitely understand where you're coming from with that though, because there's some designs either they do really really well and they're like the greatest things ever, or they're truly memorable, or they're memorable in all the wrong ways. I definitely understand how that is. Like when I first started seeing stuff for Transformers Beast Wars floating around, like the really cheesy, like really early thousands animation, I'm like, this was popular? And then apparently everyone else jumped on the bandwagon at the same time and went, yeah, this is like so bad. But then as I started watching more clips of it, through other channels and which I'm like, oh, you know what? This style kind of grows on you after a while. And then it turns into one of those like little earbuds that you just can't stop thinking about.
It was made in 1990, so
Yeah.
I can go along with that. This was one of my childhood animation also. I used to watch Beast Wars on local TV when I was 6 or 7. I remember I was very impressed with the animation.
Yeah, like
because that's all that they could do at the time.
Right, like for its for its age, for its era, it actually looked pretty good. But looking at it now, like with the kind of animation that we have at our disposal today, you just look at it, you're like, that was popular? Like, I watched this?
Yeah.
I do the same thing actually.
Yeah.
Like every year actually with my groups, and we're going to do it again here sometime soon on every year on Halloween. What my group of buds do is we watch. I'm not sure if you may have heard it or seen it in passing. Is the Scary Godmother TV movies that Cartoon Network used to air for years and years back in the day. Apparently it was originally a children's book, and then they decided to adapt it to excuse me, adapt it to Cartoon Network because that's what they were really big capitalizing on back in the day. But it's just so bad in the endearing way, in the endearing way we mentioned, but it's just so cheesy of animation, like you just can't help but cringe at it. And half the time us watching it every year is just laughing at how hilariously cringe that the animation is.
Scary Godmother. This is the first time that I'm seeing this. Well, if you're into Halloween and for some reason you want to watch a Kamen Rider series, there was Kamen Rider Kiba, that based on some horror creatures.
I'm iffy with the idea of Halloween. Like, I don't mind it. I mean, even as a kid, looking back on it, half the reason that I personally was interested in celebrating is just free candy. Let's be real. That was literally every kid's definition for it. Now I'm at the age where I'm like, all right, cool. If I want candy, I'm just gonna wait till like Halloween night or like a few days before Halloween, and I'll go buy my candy then, and then I'll just snack out on it while I'm watching Scary Godmother and laughing at cringe animation. That's my definition of Halloween now, is just bulking up on candy I normally don't buy elsewhere or on most other days, on most other occasions, and I just enjoy that. So let me see, what else could we do here with the horn to kind of really tie in the... Actually,
yeah, speaking of the Halloween theme...
I kind of like the simplicity
this is...
of it, though.
Yeah, this looks good.
This looks good. I kind of I like the simplicity of the horn. Like we don't have to complicate it. It's just a little like, you know, cannon shaped in, you know, in the shape of a horn. Kind of let the design and the colors do their thing. I want to do something more with the helmet and the eyes, but like I said, I don't want to risk overcomplicating it either, you know?
I love the sweet eyes, yeah, that you showed they showed me earlier. I kind of love the idea of an extruded eye or maybe extruded visor
Okay.
that's poking out of the helmet.
Yeah, I might have to do some reconstruction if I want to do that, but let's see. How can I do that? I'm just trying to think on how I would translate that. Let me think.
Speaking of element theme, I definitely really want to have a Super Sentai based on some horror creatures because we haven't got that.
Okay, so let me try running around with an idea here. So let's try. Lower that just a little bit. There we go. Look again at Sweet real quick, just so I can kind of get an idea of what his upper eye looks like. Let me see here. Let's look. Where are you at? No, that's Hypocrite, not the one I'm looking for. There you are. Let's see here. Okay. So, let's say. The question though is, would this kind of thing fit with the idea of a beetle though, given that Sweet was designed off of a grasshopper? Or do you think we should try to reconstruct and go for the visor look? Because the way we have the head shape right now, it is kind of following that beetle aesthetic. I'm just trying to think of anything I can use to kind of fill in the holes, you know, before we add the flat coat. And design, and of course, figure out a color scheme.
Yeah, let's go with the extruded visor.
Okay. So,
maybe.
So what we could do then, I'm actually going to delete that and start it over. I'm going to make it a little smaller. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the horn up here instead. Kind of like a beetle hat that it's wearing instead of like a stylized eyes. Let's see. So, kind of like that. Let me check on this real quick. Okay. So how about something kind of like that?
Oh, that looks cool.
Because ultimately we're gonna have our beetle horns based on the two on the side of the head, back of the head, and then the main one on the chest. So the one on the head is not gonna be nearly as on the front isn't gonna be nearly as big. You see, I do see Hub popping into chat. Welcome, welcome. It's always good to have you. So what I'll do. Let me start clearing some of this out, and then I'll merge the layers. See how we're looking.
Yeah, I love the shape.
And I know it's a little early to tell since we're still putting it together, but what are you thinking so far on a color palette for this guy?
Oh, okay. Now that's tricky.
Let's merge down. There we go. What's this? Okay, I don't know what happened there, but
Yeah, I'm still thinking. Oh, Or maybe we can take the Hog-Gatling form right here. The orange and
Maybe like an orange
gray.
black.
Orange, black, and dark gray, maybe.
Okay, I can see it. I see your vision. So let's see here. Let me keep working on this a little bit more. Extrude the head, the capture. Oops, just a little bit more. Right about there. So let me erase this here. Kind of like that, essentially. What are we thinking?
Oh, that's nice.
I dig it. I dig it. So let me go over here real quick and see. Because I'm just sketching of this concept from the side, just so we can kind of like follow along. Because stuff that has stuff in the front like this is kind of hard to like track. So we don't like the antenna idea. We can get rid of this. So it's gonna be something kind of like. Something kind of like that. From the side.
Gotcha.
I dig it. I can see the vision. We're cooking. Okay, let's see. So, my idea for the legs, I had a really neat idea that I was thinking about. Is I gotta recall it now. Hold on. It's think of it kind of like you know, like suspension you see on like like a lifted Jeep. I'm thinking something along the lines of that, but the wheels themselves are actually like tank treads.
All right, sure.
Or actually, what we could do as an idea. Let's make the base that I want to come from first. Let me take a look real quick at these references you sent me. I keep tagging into those just so I can keep an eye on them. Let me see here. So, it doesn't even have to be anything like super complex either. Something like that. What I'm thinking is we could do this one of two ways. Let me see. I'm just trying to see how I'd want to translate this too in the meantime, so let's try. Maybe something like. Let's make it a little smaller. If I can actually get the shape right. Close enough. The only problem with having to learn how to not look at your hand when drawing is the fact that you have to be really careful with your line quality. So what I'm thinking of is maybe something kind of like this. So we'll do the tank treads, kind of like their own standalone things. But then what we can do is maybe I can see the vision in my brain. I'm just trying to translate it. Oops, try this another way. Hold on. So I have to ask, as I'm working on this and as we've had conversation about it thus far, so what got you ultimately into Kamen Rider? You know, like, what set you on this path initially?
Well, I said before because I watched Kamen Rider, basically tokusatsu, tokusatsu shows like Kamen Rider, Power Rangers,
Mhm.
Super Sentai all my life since I was a kid,
Gotcha.
and it's kind of hard to let it go.
Gotcha. So you grew up with it since you were a small thing.
Yes,
Gotcha. I see.
and not only that, basically I pretty much watch superheroes in general. Yeah, I also like DC and Marvel stuff. So I'm not actually picky with all of those franchises. I love them all. I've been following Marvel. I've been following DC, Tokusatsu. But what I want to do right now is I'm trying to preserve one of the Tokusatsu franchise, a local Tokusatsu franchise. We have our own.
Oh,
We have
really?
our own hero. Yeah, we have our own hero called how do I put this in English? Garuda Warrior Bima.
Okay. I'm familiar
So
with the Garuda theming.
yeah. So it was a tokusatsu show in collaboration between our local TV network and the production studio behind Kamen Rider.
Okay. So definitely some
So
big
we
names
have
behind it.
we have the costume imported from the Japanese studio with our writing, with our screenwriting in Indonesia.
Well, that's exciting.
But unfortunately, it's not preserved well.
What when was it first like aired, or is it a new thing?
10 years ago.
Ah. Yeah, that one might be a little on or off with preservation. It'll
But
just
recently they,
it'll
yeah,
just kind of depend on
recently they, Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, sorry, go on.
it'll just kind of depend on like who's doing it, who's interested.
But recently they uploaded on YouTube now. The OG episodes thankfully got uploaded to YouTube now every week.
Well, nice. That I'm sure definitely helps out a lot with getting the name out there with it. Let's see, here we go.
Yeah, but frankly, I have the DVD box set. The DVD box set.
That's always good, especially in this era too, where a lot of folks are realizing that where having the physical copy is usually a lot better. I've been seeing a lot of posts like that these days, especially with all these game companies coming around, like Ubisoft coming around saying like, yeah, just because you buy the digital copy doesn't mean you own it, and we reserve the right to like remove it from your game inventory at any time or whatever. And needless to say, no one's having it, and for obvious reasons, they aren't having it. But
Yeah, by that
crazy.
logic, by that logic, if they're saying buying is not owning, so pirating is not stealing.
theft. Yep. I've seen that meme, and I stand by it. Actually, I'm like, listen. They want to argue, you can't pirate our game, that's illegal. Well, then let us own the copies we buy. It's not that hard.
Because piracy is not necessarily a bad thing. It's a one of the last resort for keeping for keeping the video game preservation alive.
Right. It's kind of like in a lot of cases, you could honestly consider like a moral gray. Like, yeah, the idea of stealing is bad, but at the same time, in this situation, it does kind of come as a necessary evil, because like digital content, say for instance if something gets delisted, say like because the studio closed down and they lose all the copies of the data. Right now, a friend of mine actually has been dancing around the idea with one of the Transformers titles that was delisted from Steam like years ago. It's I forget which one. I think it's like War for Cybertron or Fall at Cybertron. I forget which one, but apparently it was on Steam at one point years ago when people really cried when they took it off. And apparently somebody allegedly had gotten around to uploading a copy of it. And the copy's been like on or off as far as like if you can go down install it. And I let him know, I'm like, dude, you need to stay on top of this because who knows how long it's gonna last. And he's like, dude, the second I see it on there, I'm dropping it. But I've not seen it come up yet, so I don't know. So let me see.
Yeah, thankfully I bought the copy when it was still on Steam.
Oh yeah.
Because I love the game. Yeah, I love the game so much.
being in line with what we have here. Is that another join?
Yeah, it kind of hurts. It kind of hurts that if we're trying to look for something and they are considered to be a lost media, that hurts my that breaks my heart actually.
Yeah, because once it's gone, it's gone, and there's like
Yeah,
nothing
it's
anyone
it's
can do
lost
about it.
forever. Yeah.
Actually, it's a really good example of that in the Metarock community. I have a friend that's been scouring the internet for it. Like it's his white whale, so to speak. Like he has to have this to figure out where it's at. There is a poster that was drawn, well, not drawn, but printed. Very, very limited run. There's like 3 of them in existence, kind of rare. And basically,
Ooh.
and what it was, well, at least 3 that are surviving anyway, I should clarify. And basically what it is a thing. Basically what it is it's like a printed roster essentially of all of the models in a specific game. It's like all the models from like Metarots 1, 2, and 3 as a printed poster. And it even included all the models from another game that was in the earlier era for Metarot R, and it's just this great big poster. The problem, though, let me check this. Okay, the problem with that though is the fact that because it's stupid rare, nobody has it, and you can't find you can't find it anywhere. Like there's pictures of it that exist, obviously, but good luck finding it. And he's been like I said, it's his white whale. Like he's been looking for this sucker for who knows how long now, and all he's had are just confirmed leads saying, yeah, it exists. They only made, they only had a handful of them that were made. I don't know who else has one.
Oh.
So I definitely understand where that's coming from too, and that's honestly very frustrating because like it's lost art. Like there's none of it left at all. So if people want to complain, hey, you can't pirate this, you know, it's considered illegal. Well, then give us back the ability to install it again. Someone has the code for it somewhere. Work with me line. Actually, another really great example of that comes to mind is I'm not sure if you have, but have you ever heard about a really old game that used to be available on Windows, you know, on web page, on the old Metabots website? It's a Robattle 3D.
I believe I haven't heard of it.
So, back in the really early, we're talking like really early thousands, back when web games were like all the rage with developers. I actually had a chance recently in the last couple of years to interview one of the head developers of that game, Robattle 3D. And I had a chance to talk with him, and he explained the whole process, like what went into designing it, what was the original instruction, things like that, essentially. And based on what I understand and what he explained, the source code, he has the only copy of the source code of that game in existence. It does not exist anywhere else. The Wayback, for folks that are aware of what the Wayback Machine is, you know, for looking for really old stuff you can't find, you'll find clues that say, yeah, it allegedly existed, but there is nothing there. There's no EXEs, there's no programs, no Java files, no nothing. All you can find are just whispers on the internet that it exists. But this copy that this guy has is the only copy in existence that runs, and he occasionally streams it on Twitch with viewer requests of battles that people want to see, and that's it. That's all he has. That's all that exists of it.
What was the name of the game again?
Robattle 3D. Really, really old thing from like the early thousands, back when web games were a thing.
Okay, yeah. Spell it, please.
Robattle, ROBATTLE, 3D. Let me see.
Raw Battle 3D. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really old thing. But I had a chance to speak with one of the head developers on that project, and really, really nice guy, by the way. Like it was an absolute treat to have him on. And That was really big too, because I had a lot of people in the comments on that video saying, "Oh my gosh, I remember this thing back from years ago," because everybody played it. They all remembered it fondly, but it doesn't exist. There are no working copies of this that someone can go install or download on the internet.
My goodness.
Let's see. So what do we think about this so far with the leg design? Kind of combining the tread idea, that the tread theme that you had.
I like it already.
And
Somehow it's better than I imagined.
What I'm thinking, because see, my idea was on the fact is that it can use as like a multi-pedal, like an insectoid type leg, but then the center wheel can fold down and have all the treads on the floor, and he'd have, of course, 2 sets of these. So there's one in the back, one in the front. That was my thoughts behind it, anyway.
Yeah, this is definitely cool looking.
I'm just trying to figure out a way.
Yeah, I can go. Yeah, we can go with it. Oh yeah, there were some. Okay, there is some. Okay, have you heard about a cutscene that was cut from the original game, and 24 years later they found it?
I may have heard about something like that in passing.
Okay.
What's the game in question? If that helps.
Okay, I'm talking about Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro.
Okay, yeah. I've heard stuff about that floating around.
Yeah, for those of you who is watching right now, so the story is, in Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro, on the very end cutscene, there was supposed to be a cameo by Thor appearing after we successfully defeating Electro. So Thor was supposed to appear on that cutscene when he talked about Spider-Man, and he mistook Spider-Man to be the culprit of the heavy storm and heavy thunder, lightning, all those stuff. Yeah, and that was removed because the original ending takes place atop of the World Trade Center before the destruction on 9/11.
I can see why they took that one out. I can kind of see.
Yeah.
It. Yeah, that's a really touchy topic with folks.
Yeah, but recently, someone uploaded the exact cutscene, that lost cutscene. Somehow, he's still holding on. He was still holding those files even after 24 years in his hard drive.
Oh wow!
It's unbelievable.
Oh, if you want to hear a funny story like that, Disney's, I forget which one. I think it was Toy Story 2. Have you heard the story behind that one? How that movie almost didn't exist?
Oh yes, I know that story.
It was like all the servers at Pixar just up and died. Like they all just all died at once. Yeah. All the data gone. There was like no hope of them saving anything. And while everyone's in the middle of having the biggest heart attack on planet Earth because they were supposed to finish the movie in like a week, one of their animators who was on maternity leave goes, "Oh yeah, I forgot I have a copy of it on my hard drive at home." They're like, "Get over here now!"
Yes.
they drove her there like she was pregnant too, like she was on maternity leave. They drove her like she was gold going to Fort Knox, and that was the only reason we still got Toy Story 2 released that year. It's crazy how things like that happen.
Yeah, that was insane.
Let's try.
So the aforementioned cutscene, so apparently it was featured on Activision website at one point, and someone downloaded it.
Yep, and once it's on the internet, it's forever.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna. Yeah,
hence the very low quality. We're talking about 240p.
Oh yeah.
Quality footage, but it was real, definitely real.
So what should we do for the arms, though? That's kind of the big question now.
Yeah.
I'm thinking for Minus Guard, I want to incorporate the beetle theming here. So I'm thinking about using like the shell carapace, like as a shield, like kind of like a tower shield kind of thing.
Minus Guard medal. Okay.
So the left arm is Minus Guard, which is a shield type move. So I'm thinking I want to use I want to use like a beetle shell, like the wing shell as like a shield kind of thing.
Wing shell, okay. That's cool. That's cool.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm just trying to think of anything else we could do with it. But if we do the shell on one side, what are we gonna do with the other one?
Pincer.
It's a possibility. I'm just trying to think of how we could translate this. Especially with it being a
there's
missile
this
type of attack. Let's see. This is what I love about Orimeta design like this, is that there's 1,000,001 different ways to take something, but the collaborative art streams is really where it's at. Let's see.
Maybe we can add some robot pincer, mechanical pincer. I think. Yeah, I'm sending one of Commander builds again. Commander builds form based on Phoenix and robot.
Okay, I could see it. How would that translate into like a missile type of attack though?
Maybe on the shoulders.
That's a possibility, like a shoulder mounted or an arm mounted. That's an idea. I think. Let's see. Let me see this real quick. Hold on. Okay. Okay, I have an idea. It's a really silly idea, but hear me out, okay? Every once in a while, they usually come up with a design that has a very unique type of gimmick. I'm just going to use gimmick for lack of a better term. What if we made the arm a little simpler, but the missiles that it fires are like kind of like remote beetles?
Okay, excuse me. Sorry, I didn't catch that.
So, what about the possibility as an idea? Because sometimes every now and then they'll release a design that has like a little gimmick or like a special animation. What if we do the right arm, the missile C, a little simpler, like just a basic hand with like a weapon of some kind, but the missiles that it fires are like little beetles.
Sure.
So I'm like, okay, hold on, hear me out. It might be a possibility here. What's bugging me?
At one point, it was the exact gadget on Kamen Rider show once.
So what we could do, let me think. How do we want to set that up? Let me look at some of these other designs that you put here real quick. Okay, so I'm going to let me actually copy this on here real quick. My tool is still up. Mirror tool is still up. Easy to work with. Work with me, please. Pen. Almost. I really do need to get myself one of those tablets with a screen eventually. It probably would help my line quality. There we go. So I'm thinking, what if I'm gonna kind of combine some elements here based on the stuff you've shown me. So let's try to copy the shape here. Not complicate this. have a flaw of doing that sometimes, where I try to reinvent the wheel making things, and it really makes a mess. See, kind of like this.
Oh, okay.
I think it's something kind of like that for the shoulder pauldron. Hold on.
Somehow I'm planning to rebrand myself as a Kamen Rider VTuber because the idea of me basing myself as a Super Sentai, that in Japan, Toei cannot still distribute the contents for Kamen Rider to overseas.
Really?
Besides China, Thailand, and South Korea,
Is
it's
it
still
a
restrictive
is it like an ownership rights thing, or?
because of Saban and Hasbro.
Ah, okay. I've heard a
They
little bit
had
about that being a particular problem.
Yeah, because at the very beginning, Saban hold the rights and license to distribute Power Rangers globally.
Okay, yeah.
So Toei just keeping the Super Sentai to themselves. Even until today, they've been remaking all those morphers, the old morphers, but with premium Bandai label.
Gotcha.
So
I'm
imagine a remade, version of Power Morpher that can cost you $200.
Yeah, no thanks. No thanks.
Yeah, that's what I hate. That's why I've been hating about Super Sentai distribution. They're still restrictive. So unlike Kamen Rider and Ultraman, now has been expanding the brand globally, so that everyone can watch it, everyone can buy the toys now.
Mm-hmm.
But with Super Sentai, there's still the problem.
So I'm assuming that's why, kind of tying back to that one Kamen Rider, you said it's officially going global. I'm assuming that's why it's such a big deal.
Yes. Because now, I will not spend $70 for a belt now. We can get it with $45 for the deluxe belt, at least in my country.
And honestly, though, that's always gonna be a whole lot more affordable as well. I think. Okay, how do I want to do this? Do I want to make the shield standing, or do I want to make it like a gauntlet?
Because in here, if we'd like to import some of the things from Japan directly, we need to cover the shipping fees, we need to cover the import tax, we need to cover the custom tax.
Right.
We still need to cover.
It's just a whole bunch
even
of stuff.
Even we still need to cover the VAT.
And by the time that you actually end up getting the product, you've already spent like double or triple whatever the initial cost of the item is.
Yes.
Yeah, that's definitely not fun.
So I'm not sure if I want to do Super Sentai related content, because all of those contents are restrictive and got copyright heavy. Because one of my friends, sharing the clips, just clips and articles about Super Sentai, his account almost terminated.
Yikes.
Permanently.
Here we thought Nintendo was super crazy with the ban hammer.
Yes. Actually, Toei is very notorious to do that. So I'm really hoping that's not the case with Kamen Rider, but for Super Sentai, it has been very hard to pull some information behind the scenes.
Because they're extremely protective over it.
Yes.
Excuse me. That's kind of wild.
Yeah. but in recent years, they've built some kind of blog that shared all of the production notes and information behind the scenes, but all of them are still in Japanese, and I cannot read Japanese yet.
Well, I mean, just start at least. It's not the most.
So maybe the idea,
but...
yeah. So maybe the idea is, I'm still retaining my form right now. So, but I'm building a new form for me that is almost look like Kamen Rider. Maybe
Okay.
with my, Tokusatsu tropes that's still ongoing right now is form changer. Yeah, form changes. Yeah. So my
Henshin.
upgrade form is going to be, yeah. So the upgrade form of myself is going to be a winged helmet and some body armor.
Gotcha. That sounds pretty fun. All right, how far are you in
Yeah.
development with that rebrand, or still fairly early?
I've done with the concept, so I'm going to order some commission with my friend who's working on my 3D modeler.
Okay.
Maybe later, in later months, I think.
That sounds fun. Any idea on a timetable, or still kind of playing that by ear?
Still in the air because I'm still saving money for that.
That's 100% valid. Still thinking. Let me try this way. Hear me out here. I have an idea to kind of stylize the inside of the gauntlet. You can kind of see my vision here, kind of like tucked in legs.
Ooh.
Kind of like the legs are wrapped around the arm, you know?
Oh, I can see that. Yeah. The motif was the insect legs, right?
Yes.
Embedded into the arm. That's nice. I can't wait to redraw this.
So we can do.
A beetle tang. So that's a very cool pun right there. A beetle tang.
So hear me out. I have an idea here.
So maybe if you're wondering why are you talking about Kamen Rider so much, yet you are Super Sentai VTuber.
Oh, there's a reason. There's always a method for the madness.
Yeah. So the idea is why I'm basing my character design based on Super Sentai, because number one, it's going to be very easier and cheaper to produce the costume. One fun fact about me, I have a physical helmet of myself.
I've seen the pictures actually. That's actually really cool. Like content creators that do that, and like make, and actually like make real life versions of their stuff of their character. That's wild. Like I have a lot of respect for folks that do that.
Yeah, because that has been my dream. I really want to have my own tokusatsu hero persona, and if it is possible, I want to build the costume for it. So the idea why I'm basing myself from Super Sentai is because the silhouette is very clean. Yes. I like simplicity and
it's usually very simple, very easy
proportion.
And
then
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and then the costume can be easier to produce and easier to carry around.
Oh yeah.
That's the idea.
Right.
Because I had some experience wearing a Kamen Rider costume back in my youth. I once owned a Kamen Rider Kuga costume, and it was restrictive.
I imagine
with the big armor and shoulder pad. Yeah, I didn't like it.
So here's my idea with the shield so far, just to kind of voice it out and see what you think. So the gauntlet itself on the inside. Hold on, let me do this first. Actually, segment the fingers a little bit. There we go. So my
Yeah,
idea
the segmented
is,
finger.
so my idea with this is this hand, the left hand is going to be just a little bit bigger as far as like a gripping force. Like it's a bigger hand design with around the gauntlet. The inside of the gauntlet here is kind of like stylized like a beetle, beetle legs kind of wrapped around it, kind of like a brace. But the idea ultimately is with the shield, it's kind of like I said, kind of like the carapace that goes over beetle wings. But when he goes to actually like deploy the shield, it actually like folds out. So kind of like an actual beetle spreading its wings.
That's what I'm thinking. That's also what I'm thinking.
That's what I
Good
was
call.
figuring, something kind of like that. To kind of give it a little more interaction. So the only thing we have left to do is just for the other arm. What are we at so far time-wise? We're about an hour and a half. We're making good progress. Let me see. What could we do? We had an idea that we discussed with it earlier. But how do we want to stylize that? Well, if we wanted to go funny, I was thinking he could like have a kind of like be holding a branch with a bunch of beetles clinging to it. I'm thinking about that. I'm going, no, probably not. Just trying to think of how
So
else
there
we
was a
could do.
gadget. Yeah, so there was a gadget to shoot those like a beetle launcher. So maybe let me search it really quick.
Yeah, if you want to find me an idea on that real quick, we could probably have some fun with it.
Yeah. There was a funny looking gadgets and somehow goofy, even though the show is kind of like a serious vibe, but for some reason he's holding this toy to launch those little beetles as projectiles. Okay, hang on. Let me search it here. Where's the gadgets? Gadgets. Zectomizer. Okay, there it is.
Visor was actually throwing me off. I like that a whole lot more.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Okay, hang on. It's this. This is definitely toyetic. This is definitely just for selling the toys. Hold on.
Okay, while you're working on that, I'm just checking some stuff. Let's see. Okay, I can see it. So what we could probably do then...
You know the funnest thing is, this gadget only appeared on 2 episodes.
Showed up once and then never again. Gotta love it. Let me think. Okay, so what we could probably do is we can actually have a lot of fun with that. Is let's do. I have an idea in my head. I just have to figure out how to translate it. We're gonna go with only one humanoid hand though. That's my idea so far. And then for the other hand, what we could do. Something kind of similar. Maybe... I'm just trying to figure out how to translate it. No, I do have an idea for it. Hold on. I can make this work. I need... Should we copy this here? I need to try to retrace. I'm gonna put that over here on this side just so I can not have to redraw it myself later. So what I'm thinking is okay. So let's try. we actually are gonna go 2 hands with this one. What we're gonna do, kind of emulate. It's simpler here. Once you see my vision here, I think you might like where I'm going with this, but I need to refine this here. I'm cooking. I'm cooking, guys. I'm cooking. Let me see. So, something a little simple for the arm. A little smaller. There we go. But we're gonna do the wing idea, but in reverse. So in this case, we're gonna figure this out angle-wise. So kind of like that. Actually, we could even take this an extra step further if we wanted. Here's my... There we go. And actually do like a whole beetle built onto the arm on this side. So we can do the same thing over here with the... like little attached arms. So maybe... something like that, so like kind of like the beetles clinging onto the arm. You know, I've always thought rhino beetles were really cool. Like, I always thought they were a really chill-looking thing. It would be really nice to, like, have them, but it's one of those rare exotic pets where you, like, have to know what you're doing to take care of them, and unfortunately, I'm not suited to actually do so properly.
Yeah, and since the kabuto beetle is exclusively in Japan, so that's probably going to get harder to get.
Probably, and I just realized that.
Their T-shaped horn is very distinguishable, very exclusive to the kabuto beetle.
Interesting. Okay, so I just realized I didn't turn off my. There we go.
And here's some, for some reason, here's some in tokusatsu tropes. Okay, whether there is a kabuto beetle theme hero, there is always a rival or possibly a partner with the stag beetle theme.
And that's always been prominent with Medarot too. That's why its mascots have always been Kabuto and Kuwagata. So most likely a nod to that as well.
Yes, that's correct.
Let me see. What I'll do. So I didn't realize I had my ruler turned on, so I basically drew everything on the other arm. Like, let me fix that real quick.
Oh man, there is going to be an official Kamen Rider store in Malaysia. Oh dear lord.
I can hear the wallet sweating from here.
We want to have it too in Indonesia, please. Bring those into Indonesia, please. Yeah, actually, maybe like a joke or maybe like a pun. My wallet is technically ripped right now, and I do mean ripped. It's broken.
Yeah.
my 10-year-old Batman wallet.
Copy this real quick just to make it easy. even have to be anything super complex, just beetle. Oops. I'll throw another one down here. There we go. So this is kind of what we're looking at so far with the design. Honestly, I dig it.
Wow, that's cool.
And my idea was that essentially, like the carapace wings on the back, on the top of the right arm would essentially open up to like launch beetles.
Yeah.
Looking at the chat here as well, Atma says, "Feel like Kuura would love Kamen Rider Kabuto." I probably would if I sat down and actually took time to invest properly in, you know, watching a Kamen Rider series. And I'd love to eventually. Just need the time to do it. That's the big catch here. Work on my layers here real quick just so we keep organized.
If you don't object to the storytelling aspect, you're probably going to enjoy Kabuto because the aesthetic and the costume design were top notch.
I've heard good things about it. Yeah, honestly, it reminds me there was a, and you know how most of the time like people say like studies show that like 50, you know, like what was it, like 85% of people often forget their dreams when they wake up or something like that. And for some reason, I don't know why, I'm pretty sure people are gonna laugh at me and say, listen, it's a sign, you need to do it. I had the weirdest dream months ago, and it still sticks with me. It still sticks with me. And I sometimes just lay in bed and stare at myself going, why on earth did I have this dream? It was the weirdest thing that, it was kind of along the lines of like where you think you're your character, like when you're streaming and whatnot. But I owned a, what was it? It was like a tokusatsu repair shop, like a repair garage. And it was anything from, like, it was like anything from, and I swear I could see it vividly in my dream. I could see, you know, the open office, I could see the garage and the warehouse where all the stuff were being worked on. I had Kamen Riders coming in, I had Sentai Rangers coming in, I had, you know, machines and Zords in the warehouse being worked on for repairs, people, them coming and going, asking, you know, for open appointments for repairs or whatever. It was so vivid, but I only remember like 10 minutes of that dream, and I can't remember anything else to it. I'm like, come on, man, I was cooking here. What happened? I'm like, and I said it to Freddie, like, listen, that's a sign, you need to rebrand. I'm like, but I don't want to rebrand.
I wouldn't wake up from that.
that'd be along the lines of like, if anything ever happened and I decided not to be a meta tuber anymore, that'd be like my backup, I guess I could call it. I'm like, all right, I mean, I'll hold on to the idea, I guess, but like, come on, brain, like, why'd you have to do that to me? Alright, so let me see here as I'm working on this. So what we're thinking of so far with it, you said we want to kind of go after the Kamen Rider build, you said, with kind of like an orange, silver, black. So what are our thoughts on like making the horns primarily black colored, like a shiny black, or even a gray?
Sure.
Like a charcoal.
Sure.
So maybe what we can do is, I'm actually going to mirror this color down here still. I like this color. Now, in the meantime, while I'm working on this, the other thing that we have to figure out is a model ID, and then, of course, a model name and part names. That's the other fun part, is trying to figure out what to call it and what its model name and what its model ID will be. Now, the thing with Metarods, in order to help figure out, you know, tell models apart one from the other, is it's usually designated by a 3-letter ID. Well, in the case of like Metubi, he is KBT01. So that means he is the second in line, 0 being the first, of the KBT Kabuto line, Kabuto Beetle. Rokusho is the same thing. He is a KWG Kuwagata Stag Beetle. So now we just have to figure out what this one would be called and what his model ID would be. Oh, my music's cutting off and we gotta double check on it. There we go. So let me see. Any ideas or things that we could possibly consider?
Oh, for the designation
For the
name?
model ID, yeah.
Model ID. Since he's a Caucasus, let's start with CCS.
CCS. Okay, I dig it. CCS 0. Now, the other big catch as far as names are concerned, and this might be the thing where a translator might be involved, is when translated to Japanese, it has to equal 8 characters or less. So we have a little bit of freedom with that, essentially. The fun part is just trying to figure out what fits. Let's see. Hoping it wasn't the Garage Car Ranger. Honestly, I don't know. Like I said, I really hate that I forgot that I forgot that. And I don't remember.
Yeah, well, Car Ranger is a comedy show actually. The vibe to the whole show is very comedic.
Yeah, I've
almost look like a parody of themselves. So that's fair.
Yeah, that's probably how it's meant to be. But yeah, like I said, I wish I remembered more details of that. Like I could actually like sit there and world build and figure out, okay, what was it called? What did it look like in my mind? What did what did the floor plan look like? And like I said, I sent this to a friend. I'm like, listen, I guess this means if I ever decide not to become a meta tuber anymore, like I said, I can just rebrand as a toku mechanic. I guess I'm like, I'm not against the I'm not against the idea. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want to rebrand. I'm having too much fun as a meta tuber.
Well, maybe you can work on my sword.
I mean, I wouldn't say no. Let me see. So
I actually had the concept art already. So far, I really want to find anyone in as a 3D modeler to build the model for that Megazord. Okay. Yeah, I already had the concept, but so far, yeah, I'm still collecting. Yeah, I'm still saving money to order some commissions for that.
What are we looking at for the eye color by chance? Any possibility, or any thoughts?
I think this is already enough. I think with the orange, dark gray, black,
so we
or possibly silver.
We need to think of a color that contrasts it, something that lets it stand apart. And I have no issue with changing these colors around either. So like if we want to go like an orange eye or like a red eye and find something else, we can do that too.
Possibly blue eye. For some reason, blue works really well with gold and maybe yellow, I think. So to make it stand out, right? To make it the eye stand out, right?
Something
Let's go with blue,
something to contrast, so it's not like all blended together.
Maybe it's white with blue highlights. I don't know. I don't know how shading works. All this time I've been drawing only with the flat colors. That's pretty neat looking.
I'm trying to think look as well as how as well they show up on Common Rider helmets. So maybe instead of something bug-like, what I could do is...
Yeah, they always have this compound eyes, bug eyes. Yeah, Karenja is the Sentai that got adapted into Power Rangers Turbo. Yes, that's correct. The real version of the Power Rangers Turbo was that it's based on.
Yeah.
Kikiso Sentai Karenja.
Yeah, I wish I remembered more of that, but like I said, I only had a chance to actually immerse myself in it for like 5 minutes, and then I woke up. I'm like, dang it! Like I was onto something here. Eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. So what we could do is maybe make the braces that are holding the cannon to the chest gray. And make them stand out a little bit.
Yeah, sadly the only good dreams that I remember was from years ago was when I met Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck to my informal education institution.
Oh man, having those two
That's
embrace
all
a
I.
dream, like man.
That's all I could remember when it comes with the good dreams. The majority of the dream that I remembered was bad dreams or nightmares
Yeah, that do be kind of how it
involving
is.
vehicle accidents.
Oh yeah, that's weirdly enough, that's actually a really common one. A lot of people would actually confess to is that's one that actually freaks them out the most.
There was always when I drove like a car or riding my motorcycle, hit the other side of the road and then fell to my death.
Eek. Gotta love those kind of dreams. It reminds me of a meme I found ages ago. I see it pop up every now and then. I love it for this reason. But it was along the lines of how did it go? It says this guy had a dream once, or he heard a friend had a dream where this girl he really liked was in it, and she convinced him to stab a man. So he did, because he loved her, and he thought in his dumb brain as he was dreaming that he was just going to carry the murder weapon around. So eventually, a cop finds him in the dream and says, "Hey, what did you do with that knife?" And he says, "You'll never take me alive." He says, "Oh, yes, I will." He says, "No, you won't. Watch this." And he woke up. I'm like, ultimate power move, just waking up from a dream on a whim. It's like, "Don't worry, guys, I got a plan." Logs out.
Logs out.
This is your problem now. I'm out of here. I'm like, listen, man, the ability to do that in a dream would be like a lifesaver. No more nightmares of any kind, because you just log out when you're having that bad dream. That's...
Essentially a rage quit.
Yeah, no kidding. That's exactly what it would be, a rage quit. Let's see. Let me see here. What color do we want to make the upper arm? Do we want to go with the orange or go with like a gold?
Let's go with the gold and the forearms orange.
Yeah, we could do that. So I actually still have the ability to use my mirror tool on this a little bit, so I want to take advantage of that where I can. Let's see, so something kind of like that. Let me think. She said we like the idea of doing... Hold on.
Excuse me.
I like the idea of you said using the orange on the inside of the arm. So let's do that. Let me erase this real quick. Yeah, okay, so that line stays. So something like that. What I'm thinking of for the other arm is we'll use like a gold brace. Let's see. Hub says off to bed, work in the morning, thanks for streaming. Yep, always good to have you with us, Hub. Thanks for stopping in. Let's see. You said we want to go orange again for the arm, so let's... Okay, so we try it this way, so I can help it stand out. So like that. Here. Something else I have to ask, by the way, Falco, as I'm working on this. How long have you been in the content creation? Like, what motivated you to want to pursue it?
Well, I've been a VTuber for only a year, more than
Okay.
8 years, but I already had this concept for about 5 years.
Really? So what made
Yeah,
you want to
I've
make
been
the jump
keeping.
to a VTuber?
Yeah, the idea of becoming VTuber is already there from the start. After I watched Kizuna Ai, the OG, all
Ah,
those years ago,
yep,
and
the OG.
right, yeah, and right at the moment, I already sketched some of the ideas of if okay, virtual YouTuber, what a cool concept that is still today, right?
Yeah.
We can actually creating content without showing our face. That's a very cool idea. At least what I thought so all those years ago. So right away after I watched Kizuna I started concepting, yeah, my own character. Like, if I want to do this, I'd like to have
Hmm.
my own design. So one of the early idea was I based myself on Kamen Rider Yuki, you know, the dragon with the card trading card game.
Okay.
Because there was also one story that I'd like to make, you know, a battle royale tokusatsu shows based on Ryuki, the aforementioned Ryuki and Gaim,
Okay.
but with the bird, but all of them are based on birds, you know.
Okay.
To tell you the truth, yeah, to tell you the truth, some element in my name actually translated as hawk
Oh
or
wow.
eagle, so that's what I'm going for
Okay.
aesthetically. So I ditched the Kamen Rider concept because, hold on, if I'm going to do this, I want to design the yeah, possibly the like 2D model, or possibly maybe if I can think far ahead, I want to have my own 3D model, or basically the costume. I want that to be more. I want it to be simpler,
Hmm.
you know, to be produced, you know, and easy to produce and easy to carry it around. So
Right.
I ditched the Kamen Rider. I ditched the armored Kamen Rider concept, and that's what you see right here.
Gotcha. Okay.
Mhm.
That's really cool, though.
It was a lot
Honestly.
of Yeah, it was a lot of work, honestly.
Oh, I
I
imagine.
almost yeah, I almost designed the helmet to look like Captain America, but it wasn't working. I almost looked like Superman at one point, but then uh, if only I can show you the scrapbook, because I lost that scrapbook. Yeah, that's one of my biggest regret. I
Oof.
really want to take a look back at it. I really want to show you that. But and then when I came up with this angular eagle look, I was pretty satisfied. But then I keep retweaking the proportion, keep retweaking it years after years,
Hmm.
and then finally, I'm where I'm at right now.
Nice. So basically, you've had the concept of of Falco, the character, for a while, even before you became the VTuber, and then you're like, I wonder how I
Yes,
can use this in this fashion, and then tweaked the design from there.
yes, that's correct.
That's kind of neat, honestly. Like, much respect for having a character like that and sticking with it. Like, a lot of folks in character creation, like, that's one of the biggest problems is I don't know what character I should make, or like what should my character look like. That's like one of the biggest struggles people have. They're like, who am I? What do I do? And I think that's honestly why I see a lot of commissions for VTubers and such. But what they do is they do lore writing. And it's like $20, $30 to
Eh,
$50, like for every 500 words or something, and they'll like create lore for you.
hmm. And that's what the opposite of me. I'm not exactly a writer guy. I'm more like a visual guy.
Right.
So basically, I did the designs beforehand before I can think of all of the lore or something
Right.
like that. I'm really bad at writing. I
I'm
can only do draw.
I kind of did the same thing with mine. My history actually is kind of funny because compared to most other people that got their ideas and their concepts, I kind of went in reverse. I started with 3D and then went backwards because
Hmm?
I started as making stuff for VR chat as a avatar creator, a content creator. Um, I did a lot of Metarot models in there, but back when I first joined VR chat, um, that was still in the early days of MMD Frankensteining. Have you ever heard of that term before, Frankensteining?
Uh, maybe mix and match from other
Yes,
sources, or
that's
okay.
exactly what it is. So basically, what people would do, and it was super popular back in the day. Now it's Vroid or IMVU models that are tatted 8 different ways from yesterday, and I don't really understand why, honestly. But
Yeah.
basically, what they would do is they take templates from other characters, namely MMD stuff. So like body shape, body style from one Miku type model. They take a hair from a stylized Teto. They take they take like a dress or a suit outfit from Red or Lin or someone, and they basically open it in Blender, and they would create something. I would actually argue it technically be considered as official, because or not official but original, because it's something that they created, even if they don't own all the pieces. But it's a model that you won't find anywhere else. Like it's personalized to them. That's where I
Mm-hmm.
started. Is my model started as a Frankenstein MMD model, and then from there it just kind of evolved. And then my V2 model also was still in my early VR chat days. And when I stepped
I
away,
usually call it, yeah, I usually call it kit bashing.
that's another good term for it. Yeah, it's just that in the MMD community they specifically use the term Frankensteining.
I see.
It's the specific term they use, but yeah, it's basically the same thing. Let me see what I want to do with these. So, treads, excuse me. Treads are obviously going to be the darker color, but that's where I started, and I had a V1 model on there, and it was super basic, but it was like it worked. It was me. I liked it. And then when Vroid Alpha came out, and I'm not kidding when I say this, like the original alpha release, prototype release, beta release of Vroid before it ever hit Steam, I made a model on there, a template model anyway, and then brought it into Blender, and then heavily modified it again, and then that became my V2 model, which is actually the one I got the live 2D of when I officially made the jump to live 2D. And
Ah,
then my current model is when I hand drew, hand designed myself, and I did all the art for it. The biggest struggle was finding an artist that was affordable to rig it, because
yeah, of course.
coming from someone who self-taught himself Blender for 9 years, I want to learn live 2D rigging. Like, it looks really neat, and I want to learn it, but I just can't for the life of me wrap my head around it.
I've been there. I've
It's
been there.
just it's its own learning curve and monster to learn.
Yes,
That
exactly. Yeah.
every time I find someone who says, "Oh, I made a tutorial for live 2D rigging," I bookmark it on Twitter so I don't forget about it, because I'm actually wanting to go watch those and actually sit down and learn it. But the other problem is most of the programs I found, like a Live Cubism, are the paid subscription programs. So you kind of have to pay for it if you're going to
Exactly.
use
Yeah.
it, and that's
Yeah,
kind of what
exactly.
turned me off.
Mhm.
That's why a lot of people stopped using Adobe, is because they went to the paid subscription thing, and that bleeds everyone's wallets dry.
Oh God, yeah.
My dad and I were actually talking about that the other day too, with the whole Adobe situation, and I said, yeah, people are finding out now for like every one. That's actually one reason why I really struggled when I took one of my graphic design classes in college, is they were having us use Illustrator. And on one hand, I'm like, okay, I get it. You know, it's a really popular program. It's Adobe. Everyone's going to use it. I get it. But the reason it took me so long to learn how to use the program and turn in assignments was because everything that I could do, that they wanted me to do in Illustrator, I could have done in less than an hour in literally any other program. I could turn it in same day, but they don't want that. They want it in Illustrator. And I had to
Oh my
basically
goodness.
teach myself the program from the ground up, and I hated it. But what really sucked is the fact that you can't like buy specific program that you want to keep. You have to pay for the whole suite.
Yes, that's the problem.
Like, here's
Yeah,
my take
that's
on
what
it.
I'm.
Here's my take on it is, if Adobe wants to save face and actually like make itself something people will enjoy using, make the suite something that people can pick and choose pieces from. Like, if I'm gonna pay, say, like $100 a month for, you know, a subscription to Adobe, I better be using all the programs that come in the suite. But the problem is you're not. You're only gonna be using like maybe 5 or 6 tops, and you're gonna be paying like $100 a month for it. And that's with the student discount. So that made zero sense to me. So I'm thinking the whole time, listen, what you need to do as an idea for Adobe is make it to where people can pick and choose what programs they want to subscribe to from the Adobe suite, and those are the only programs they get unless they choose to pay more. So like, say for instance, if they decide they need Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, and then maybe like 1 or 2 video editing programs, and the price, and the bundle price that Adobe comes up with is, say, $30 a month. Cool. $30 a month, and you get the exact programs in the suite that you want to use and nothing else. You're not paying for programs you're never going to use. Let's see here. Let's go back. Let's stick with this. I like this idea here.
I want to jump myself into Affinity because I have a subsidized Canva account with our educators program, and maybe I can try to learn to use Affinity Designer or Affinity Photo. Yeah, because as far as I can tell, UI wise and shortcut wise, similar to Photoshop.
It is, yeah. That's usually what I tell a lot of folks too. Is like, if they wanted to teach me how to like create a mask, you know, like an image mask to use for stuff, I'm like, listen, I understand you teach me how to do that in Adobe, but the problem is I have to reteach myself Adobe from the ground up just so I can learn how to use the program. But if I were to do it in, say, GIMP, I could have it done in like 5 minutes and have the assignment to you in the same day. So
yeah, I've been there actually.
That's just my case.
I've been there.
Really.
I've been there. I used to do factor designing, logo designing in CorelDRAW. Yeah, and then when I apply for a job as a graphic designer in a studio once, they used the Adobe, and then I was like, oh my goodness, I gotta relearn all of this.
Yep.
But because I'm also used to with Photoshop, believe it or not, with the bitmap I use Photoshop, but with the factor I use CorelDRAW. But since I already use Photoshop, so the shortcut is easier in Illustrator. The shortcut is compatible, and we can actually put the contents from Illustrator to to Photoshop as smart objects. So you cannot, so you will not export and import stuff. So that's cool. Yeah, before long, I already adapted myself into Illustrator, so I don't use CorelDRAW anymore.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you have to pick a program and I'm not gonna say stick with it. Yeah, you have to commit to it. So you can't use like 5 or 6 different programs at once, because you have to teach yourself all of that, and that's kind of a headache waiting to happen.
Because now it's my job. Yeah, now it's my job as a graphic designer, so might as well use the stuff that they use.
Right.
To work efficiently.
Let's see. You know, honestly, I really like the idea of having like the little beetle missiles. I really like that idea. Like, for some reason, it's like really sticking with me.
Yeah.
Just go my small beetle boys, explode.
Yeah, plus it's toyetic. Yeah, really leans into that vibe. Yeah, right.
Just where do all these beetles come from? Oh yeah, I call that one boom and that one blast. Why? Well, you'll find out in about 3 seconds.
There was also one of the goofy ability in a Kamen Rider 1. In a Kamen Rider 1's, there was a show called Kamen Rider 01. So there's this female rider based on bees, and one of her ability was to summon a swarm of bees from her chess.
Oh wow. Well, they gotta find some place
That
that's
was-
gonna bring a lot of attention, so they did.
Yeah, it was such a goofy for basically a normal serious Kamen Rider show, but and then why the abilities like summon swarm of bees from her chest. So her chest like kind of like a hexagon holes, right? So
Uh-huh.
that's where she summoned the
Right.
swarm of bees came from. It was hilarious.
I summon the bees! Some of them from where? Do you want to find out, really? No. Listen, well, if you're asking like that, I don't know if I want to.
Okay, hang on. If I see if I can have that screenshot.
Just go like,
Kamen
just,
Rider
just go
Valkyrie.
Mazinger Z pose, you know, breastfire style. Just summon bees.
Okay, there is no specific shot in Google Images yet. Dear Lord.
I think that covers all the pieces. So I just gotta look for holes. Yeah, there's no holes here. Oops.
Kamen Rider Valkyrie Lightning Hornet.
I think I usually fill in most of my holes pretty well. Yeah, I think I do. So here's what we're looking at so far.
Oh, okay. I believe we need some balance color on the head. Honestly, we need some more orange on the head.
Well, I think one reason why it looks so heavy black is because of the angle. Because my idea is,
Oh, yeah.
Again, the chest horn is kind of mounted to it by a bracket. So what I'm thinking is the torso underneath could be orange to kind of help contrast it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thoughts anyway.
Okay, here's the shot. Okay, I'm going to send you some screenshot.
All right, let me see this one.
This is okay. Hang on.
Let me see some stuff here in the meantime. Let's see. Let me see here. Yep. Oh yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
Summon the beast from her chest.
I mean, it's got to work from somewhere, I guess. Let me see here. Where's that? Okay. So what I can do now...
Yeah, for such a serious character to able to do this, I was like, huh?
Here. It's about 30. Let me check this real quick, see if make sure this works. Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, there's a new Ultraman game. Oh yeah, I haven't tried that. There's a new Ultraman puzzle game, so I'm going to check it out possibly.
After a friend of mine showed me that trick with masks, I've always been using it since I'm like, oh man, that trick makes things so easy now.
Oh yeah, that's so cool. Oh yeah, you haven't applied some shading on it.
Yeah, I usually do like a basic light dark shade after I get the flat coat on. Really help makes it pop. Let's see.
Oh yeah, we were just talking about this. Yeah, I'm seeing a meme right here. What's the most boomer complaint you have? Stop making everything into a subscription service!
Yes.
If I buy the software, I should only have to pay it for once.
Yes. I think that's why a lot of people were freaking out over Clip Studio, because I think they went subscription, but I've not noticed anything
Yes.
since I bought the license.
Yeah, I also bought the license, but I haven't used it.
Well, I've danced between a lot of different programs when it comes to art. I know I use GIMP extremely frequently for general art edits, for lack of a better term. Not like anything actually art related, except for my thumbnails every week when I do my meta news. But I use it as like general edit more than anything else. But I use
For me, it is.
Yeah, I use CSP for everything art related, and then that's essentially it.
For me, it's Pen Tool Sai too that I'm still using.
I've heard good things about
that.
Sai.
I bought the license. Yeah.
I've heard good things about Sai. One of the other ones I use fairly frequently early on is Medibang. I don't know if that one's still even.
Medibang, yeah.
I used it for a while because someone suggested it to me as an art program to use after I told them I use GIMP for stuff. I'm like, don't use GIMP, it's weird. I'm like, but why? It works. They say, but it's weird. I'm like, but it works. But I actually still use GIMP extremely frequently. It's an open source program. You can do anything you want with it. Why wouldn't you use it? But no, I've been using it mostly as for texturing when I do my VTuber 64 models that I just revealed I've been working on for the last couple months. I hand draw all the textures on there as I work on the models. See. I don't want this to go.
Ugh. Oh, my back. Ah!
All right over there?
Yeah. I'm old. My back is now sore.
That's called sitting in a position for too long. I should probably move as well. I'm having too much fun, though. Plus, we're actually pretty close to the end. We just have to work on the shading, and then we just have to figure out part names for this guy. And you said it's based off which beetle again for me?
Caucasus.
Caucasus. Okay. So so we said CSS as the model ID. CSS0.
CCS.
CCS. Sorry.
Yeah.
Let me see. Hold on. This might be S. I'm gonna give my hand a break here. Let me see.
Oh, people already watching Tron Ares.
Yeah, I heard about that. That just came out. Let me see. Focus beetle. No, not that one. Alright, let me see. Would you mind spelling the beetle name for me real quick? I think I'm probably just I think I'm just having an aneurysm here, and I'm not thinking clearly. Caucasus beetle. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely spelling it wrong. Caucasus beetle.
I spelled it based on the Kamen Rider name, so it pronounced.
No, that's correct.
Caucasus.
Caucasus. Yeah, it's correct.
Yeah.
I was just spelling it wrong. Let me see here. Okay, let me go check DeepL real quick. By the way, if you're ever looking for a translator app, that is one of the most thorough I've ever used. DeepL is amazing.
Oh yes, I've been using that also.
It's amazing. I love using it. Let's try.
I know I'm vocal against AI as a image generative or video generative, but I only use AI for helping tools such as like the aforementioned DeepL and some,
Honestly,
helping with my report in my workplace. So that's all I could use.
no, but see,
I'm still,
here's the thing. That is a very valid take. In my opinion, if you're going to use AI like that, do not use it as your primary form of media. You use it as an assistive tool. So, like for cleaning up, for
yes.
proofreading, for assistive administrative measures, but do not ever use it as your primary product.
Yeah.
Let's see.
There was this moment that that at one time that I just want to experiment with the image generator. I tried to render myself into a fully Super Sentai costume, and the result is awfully close. Only with some retouch on the color and the head. I'm going to show you the image right now. This looks awfully close what I imagine to be myself to be a traditional Sentai suit, like a official quality suit.
I can see it. I can see it. That actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, the fabric texture and the seam line looks almost accurate. It looks scary. But I didn't post it. I only used this for just an experiment.
Okay, so here's an idea for the name. What if we do call canon?
Spell it, please.
Here, hold on. I'll do you one better. Cause I'm fiddling around with detail real quick. I kind of like what came out here. Let me see here.
Mm-hmm.
So let me grab that. Then I will set it here for you, and then I put the part names underneath it.
Call canon. Hmm. That's cool, actually.
I was gonna try to use like Caucasus canon, but it ended up being too many characters.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. That actually sounds kind of neat. I dig it. Right,
Call canon looks cool. Yeah, looks.
So it's CC. Yeah, so it's CCS. That was the model ID that we agreed on. So it's gonna be call canon. I dig it. Honestly, one personal challenge I would love to try to get back in on, and I remember reaching out to you initially about this originally, was creating successors to the to my Sentai hero Orimeda I made last year.
Mm.
And it's funny because I actually still want to submit that one in a contest, but I'm waiting for them to release it, the next contest.
Oh, I see.
Let me finish this up here real quick. I'll pull it up here and show you. See, do that. Let's do that. Music cut off on me. Let me check that again. Yes, it did. There we go. Okay, let me pull this up here real quick. Let me find him. Is this it? Yes, that's it. Hold on. Here we go.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, I believe this is the one that you showed me.
Yeah, I remember reaching out to you at one point,
Well,
looking for
way
some
back,
ideas on other combiner types I could use to continue with the series. I just never got to developing anything. But no, I would really love to have this one submitted in a contest, because funnily enough, a combiner type legitimately does not exist. There are none in the series so far, which I'm genuinely shocked at. Honestly, you'd actually think there'd be like one or two around, but nope, there are none.
And I really love it the way that you engineer it. Possibly, maybe you can think of my transformation sequence for my mecha.
Yeah, it's funny honestly because I had to really sit and think about that design for like weeks when I first put them together. So I'm like, I know how I want to see it. Like I could see it in my brain. I just had to translate brain to paper. And we all know how well that goes from time to time.
And this is wait, where is it? Arsenal. Oh yeah, and this is my concept design for my mecha. Wait, where is it? Yep, there it is.
Alright, give me just a second here and I'll take a look at that. Let's see.
So I'm not really sure if I can find any affordable modeler to translate this into a 3D model.
Well, the question is, are you looking for something that's like high definition, like high detail, or are you looking for something that just that's still, fairly solid, fairly conventional? Because if you're looking for something that's like high quality, like with bump maps and light, emissions and everything, yeah, you'd be looking for a while. But if you're not looking for anything that's like super complex, you'll probably find some pretty decent 3D modelers with enough patience.
Yeah, I just want to use that as an asset to my Barudo, so to speak, as a prop.
Okay, so not like anything that you'd use actively for like animations or anything.
Well, not yet. Yeah, that's the bigger picture, but for now, I just want to use it as a prop.
I getcha. Honestly, that really shouldn't be too bad either. I'll have to see. I can always ask around and see if maybe I know anybody that might be open or looking at the moment. I know a couple of mecha artists, but I don't know if they're open. That's the only catch is, are they taking anything? Okay, so here, like that. It's honestly a really cool design, though, as I'm looking at it again. That's really neat. How long have you been in the market looking for that, or haven't really committed yet?
Well, I already knew two guys, but I believe they haven't got the skill to make it work just yet because
Gotcha.
they also just often use like we're talking earlier, just git bash some of the stuff.
Right.
Just
well,
git
I'll tell you what,
bashing,
if
not
you're
the.
interested in sharing with them, there is a content creator that I follow, and I'm still kicking myself. I did not see him sooner. That is like everything you need to know about Blender and 3D modeling. And he doesn't bore you with like 30-minute long videos teaching one tool either. It's like one tool, one operation, where to find it, how to use it, 5 minutes or less. I'm like, I wish I knew this guy existed sooner.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so I can work on dark. So I'll just have to be a little more crafty with it, that's fine. Good. Honestly, we're making really good time with this too. Let's see where we're at so far. We're just shy of 2.5 hours. I mean, normally by the time I get to this point, we're closer to like 3. So we're schmoovin'. Inside of this. Well, I'm still working on this. Do you have anything incoming that you have planned for any upcoming streams at all?
Well, tonight I'm going to do another unboxing stream.
Oh, fun.
For Kamen Rider belt. Yeah. Yeah, possibly after this, I'm going to post the image for that.
Nice.
For tonight.
That's exciting. I'm excited for you, bud. Work with me, please. Thank you. Don't you just love when your tool decides not to cooperate with you?
Oh man, I came across Kamen Rider theme dream coasters.
Gotta love stuff like that, honestly. So here's an interesting question. Again, this is coming as, as a newbie to the series that's not super, that's not knowledgeable in Kamen Rider. How hard is collecting merch? Like, how with some series you either have to like custom order it or it doesn't exist, but like compared to most other places, like what's like collecting merch like?
It's particularly easier nowadays in recent years because the fan base keep growing and growing. And some reseller out there already got their collection, just selling their collection stuff.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's particularly easy to get some.
So there's typically always some merch that's always in circulation.
Yeah, maybe just just for the handheld stuff, something like that. But when it comes to apparel, we don't have it yet.
Gotcha. So a little
like only the toys. Yeah, only the toys, posters, like a gachapon, maybe a key charm, acrylic charm, rubber charm, something like that. It's easy. But for the apparel, not so. We need some we need to import some of the stuff from Japan directly or from China, because one brand in China did some of the Kamen Rider theme bags and sling bags, and even shoes.
Well, that's fun.
Well, because in my area also we have our own official Bandai Gashapon store, so in that store all of it just a Gashapon machine.
Oh, that's gotta be nice. Let's try that. I think I missed it. I did miss it. Let's see how it goes with that level. Oh yeah, that looks a whole lot better with the darker level on there. Now the fun part I like doing with these.
Ooh, okay.
Don't remember if airbrush was.
Ooh, it's glowing.
Soft ruler. Honestly, that'd do it for the concept art. Not gonna lie, I dig it. I dig it. This is a pretty solid design that we came up with. So then what I can do... keep that on there. Grab these. Okay, so now what I can do... canvas size... flip. 700, is that what I used? Yes. Shrink it just a little. Actually, I don't need to shrink it. Alright, so let me move this over real quick. I'm gonna get the text on here proper first. Here's bold. Okay, what do we come up with? Before this go. Okay. The CCS 0 all cat. Oops. So I do actually have to shrink this a little bit. Just a little bit. How about that? Alright, and then go back to here. Okay, then we have Beetle Horn. Let me shrink this a little too while I'm at it. Beetle Horn was heavy. That was... oh, it's right here. Charge Buster. We had Beetle Missile. C. Shield. Minus guard. And we had beetle treads. Radiator.
Okay, speaking of Medarod, have you recently watched an animation, a Medarod fan animation?
I've seen a couple that pop in every now and then, but unfortunately they're kind of hit and miss. They either you got to know where to find them or good luck.
Yeah, there was one fan animation that was based on a concept art from a guy that I know in Indonesia. That was okay. That was random.
Well, I know, and I had him on here once before. One guest I had with me at one point, Penguin Kotak, was actually an artist that made a design that won. Like they were actually made into an official Metarop design. And I actually had them on and we created a design together. Let's see if we can find that one real quick. I'll show you which one we did. It's
And also, this is what I'm talking about. Medabots Metabeat Fanmade.
I might have heard it. Oh yes, that one.
This one.
Yes, I've seen that one floating around. It really generated a lot of waves when people started sharing it around. Here it is. That's the one that he and I created.
Oh.
The idea of like a warlock telling a story.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
I had the idea when we started putting it together. I'm like, okay, buddy, just hear me out. I have an idea. Let me cook real quick. It's like, oh no, please do keep cooking. All right, so I'm done with that part. So I can go back in here. Put this up here. Where's my fill pen? I don't know which one that one is. I never actually figured out which one that is again. Darn. Okay, well, that's fine. I can work around it. Now I get to have some fun with this other part. This is usually what I do with a lot of arts too when I'm done. Make one more layer here. Is I try to draw it from the side. Because I know a lot of our concept art was kind of like drawing it from a profile. There it is. Silver. Right about there. The base shape down first, and then
So on Twitter, I'm 10 followers short for me to have 1,000 followers. So
I noticed that. I'm thinking the whole time, man, you are real close there, buddy. You have any plans for if you hit 1,000?
That's what I'm asking you about.
Honestly, I wish I had an answer for you. I mean, you could do... I don't know. There's a lot of things you could do. I've seen people consider. They could do...
I really want to do a live stream on X because I haven't tried to do so. But so far, the last time that I tried it with my Stream Elements Live, they said it's not eligible yet.
Really?
Mhm.
Interesting.
So I don't know if that's going to be changed if I can get it, if I can have an iPhone delivered to my house. I purchased an iPhone last night.
Okay.
It's a 13. So
Good
let's
gen.
see if I can.
Good gen.
Let's see if it is going to be delivered at all. If once I got one, maybe I can work around some stuff on the iPhone when it comes to the maybe Twitter Space or maybe just voice notes that I came across from a friend. Yeah, there's so many friends that already doing live streaming on X, but I haven't tried it, and still haven't succeeded to do so even once.
It's kind of a hit and miss, I've noticed. Like, honestly, one suggestion I would have is reach out to Sane and see maybe what they say. Because they do it, like, all the time. Or at least they... I don't know if it's multicasting or whatever, but I see them do stuff. I see them do stuff.
Yeah, they're doing it. Yeah, they're doing it right now.
Yeah, so I'd reach out to Sane, see what they say, see if it has any pros or cons. Let's see, so... Okay, so now I can turn this back on.
Mainly with iPhone, I'd like to experiment some stuff with it when it comes to motion capturing or facial capturing, because I came across a channel that doing facial capture with Unreal Engine, if that's really possible. They did it with iPhone, so that's my main goal actually, to purchase an iPhone.
Now, I'm not like secret about this. I tell this to everyone. I used to do phone sales for 3 years. I was a sales lead at one carrier before I quit, and I really missed that job. It was really fun. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that job. But anyway, coming from someone who knows phone sales, coming from a guy who is hardcore droid to the very end, giving credit where it's due, Apple knows how to do really good camera capture.
I see.
Like their cameras have always been pretty high quality, even for the base model. Like not even for like a iPhone Pro or their Pro Max model. Like even their base iPhone model always had a really good camera.
Okay.
So you can usually.
So you mentioned.
You can.
So you mentioned that.
That.
So you mentioned that. Yeah. So you mentioned that 13 is a good gen.
It was a good generation of iPhone. I honestly loved selling the iPhone 13 to people. It was a really good generation of phone. I also really hated selling 14s when they came out with them. And the reason I hated selling them is because that's when they started doing the mandated eSIM.
Oh, that's right. Now I cannot wait for mine to be arrived.
Yeah, I really hated they did that, and they went the mandated eSIM because it made everything an absolute pain in the neck to work with. Especially when
because
people
I also
came in and say my phone don't work. Well, what'd you do? I ordered an iPhone 14. Did you come to the store to ask us to help you? No. Well, that was your problem. I can't tell you. I can't tell you how many times that would actually happen. And then we'd have to call customer care because we can't fix it either. And they'd have to go in and say, well, we have to completely delete the SIM and start it over. Well, what do I do with my phone in the meantime? Oh. Well, you're out of a phone until you get that SIM working. I don't know what else to tell you.
So about the iCloud thing, is it mandatory?
It depends. Like, there are some elements of iCloud, like all users have access to, I think it's like 1 or 2 gigs by itself for free. But then if you want more storage, you have to pay for it.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's not terrible as far as like what it costs, but it's worth at least noting that if you're going to be using the iPhone, it's good to invest in. It just depends, really.
Yeah, because what I bought is the 128 gigabytes model.
Should be pretty good with that. That's usually pretty solid for a lot of conventional stuff.
Yeah, I'd like to use it for my content creation because my phone that I'm currently using right now as a daily driver has been 4 years old and it's prone to overheating.
And it's another iPhone, right?
No, it's as an Android.
4 years is actually pretty good for an Android, though. The general idea, if you can make a phone last 4 years, that's a pretty good track record.
And also I can...
especially in this day
yeah.
and age.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I also purchased the Sony motion capture sensor that that recently got popularity in a few years back.
Uh-huh.
The Sony Mocopi. I got it, but I haven't tried it because my aforementioned phone, my 4-year-old phone, tend to fail connecting and calibrating with it.
I gotcha.
So the timing is suitable to test it on with iPhone. Let's see if I can connect it to iPhone and calibrating with it. That's going to be a game changer for me.
The thing I can tell you with iPhone is it's always had a pretty good emphasis on video production content creation. So you can usually rest pretty easy knowing the fact it's going to have a pretty good, it's going to be a pretty good quality phone for that. You're going to be able to take good quality video and capture. Actually, a lot of budget options people come up with, for like motion capture or facial capture, whatever, actually suggest iPhones because its capture is that good. And I will agree, it's pretty good. So I really don't think you have too much to worry about. And like I said, the 13s were a really good gen of iPhone. So you definitely are going to be picking up something that's built to last.
Okay, thanks for the feedback.
And shield on this side too. Hold on. Let's move the ruler, please. Thank you. Okay. What? Okay, so now here. You can kind of see my vision with what I had for the left arm now, right?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, the wings fold up. The wings can fold. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I dig it.
Shall leave that down here. Oops.
This looks cooler than I imagined, honestly.
Honestly, I like it. It came out really nice. One of the biggest struggles I have is figuring out, okay, well, how can I make this, like, cohesive and it works? But no, this one actually works really well. last step I usually work on. Let's see. Let's do that. Great.
Ooh.
And of course, the most important step to any artist worth their salt. Let me see what I can put this. Let's stick it down here. There we go. I'd say we got ourselves
Okay.
a winner. Honestly, I dig it. I'd use it. I'd use this, or even just as mixed parts. I would use something like this. Real snazzy looking. Has a lot of theming between beetle typing, which is extremely iconic in the Metarot series, but also even without that too, it has a lot of very prominent Common Rider theming to it, which I thought was a really nice touch that we included in this. So let me shut that down real quick just so I can keep it on. And where are we at so far with time? Just shy of 3 hours too. Honestly, we did really good. Normally, if my streams are running up to past like 3.5 hours, and I'm going beyond. But no, honestly, it came out really nice. Like I really like how this came out. Really creative. I think we definitely captured a lot of essences of a very unique design. And honestly, I think like a multi-pedal tank tread like that, I don't think I've seen done. I don't think I've seen it actively considered or thought about. So we definitely trailblaze some new ground here with some concepts.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, I'd say we got ourselves a winner here. And it's honestly been great. I always love being able to come up with stuff like this, especially with a collaborative guests that come in, which is why I host these. Because the way I set them up, especially with you like not telling me what your prompts results are, as you work on them, because even I don't know what we're going to come up with. I had no clue this was going to be the final result. I didn't even know, would never possibly have a chance of knowing. So I honestly love that, and I love that ability of character design, concept creation. But no, honestly, Falco, it was a real pleasure to have you here on the workshop floor. And if you ever decide that you want to coordinate something else in the future at any point, the workshop doors are always open to you.
Yeah, the honor and the pleasure is all mine. Thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. So before I do officially bid you farewell, and I start wrapping up stuff here, like I asked earlier, is there anything that you have incoming that you want to showcase, talk about, announce that you're looking at as possibilities? I know you said you had an unboxing coming up after this when you were going to announce that. Is that right?
Yes, I'm going to do an unboxing stream of another Kamen Rider belt tonight, depending on the time zone. You can check me out on YouTube and Twitch at Falco, aka Taka. And then
I'm actually working
and
on
then
grabbing a
on
link
Twitter,
I'm actually working on grabbing a link to that to stick in my chat right now for you. So when you guys are all done here, you can go bother Falco on his channel for a while.
and I'm also 10 followers short to reach 1,000 followers. So please do follow me on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it.
Oh
as
yes, oh yes, absolutely. And I've seen stuff that you shared every now and then. Not just Common Rider related, but just in general. Very creative, very unique content that Falco comes up with. So absolutely worth the follow if you guys are gonna go support him. Just tell him that your old pal Kuura sent you sent you their way, and he'll know what to do. But no, like I said, Falco, it was an absolute honor and a treat to have you here on the MNN. If you ever want to coordinate anything else in the future, do not hesitate to give me a buzz.
Likewise, thanks for the opportunity.
No worries. So I'm gonna go ahead and mute everything here. If you don't mind camping out just a little bit after I officially say farewell here, I'll be with you in just a sec while I close this out. So let me
Yeah,
go
sure.
ahead and close that. and then say farewell here. All right. Well, like I said, I think we came with a really with a absolute killer of a design here with Call Cannon, and came out really really well between the two of us putting our heads together. Um, as for what is incoming going forward, just as a friendly reminder, I do have another collaborative Orimeta stream coming up here a week from today, actually. On the 17th of October, I'll be having another guest here on the workshop floor, Kylo Meko, where we'll be doing essentially the same thing as we did tonight. We'll be coming up with a completely brand new and original Orimeta design from the ground up. And even I don't know what we're going to come up with, so I'm really excited for that. Anything else I have planned, I really can't say just yet, but just as a friendly reminder on the topic of Orimetas, we do have our own contest in the Project Rising Beetle Discord server, so if you are looking to possibly come up with something unique and creative there, I would absolutely love to see it. We do have a very lucrative prize pool on the line. Feel free to join the Discord and see the rules there for more information on that. But with all that being said, as always, I do appreciate you all for stopping in, just as you always do. And until next time, this is your host, Kuura Isagami of the Medarot News Network, signing out.